Okay, thank you very much. Greetings to you all, Galila International Seminary Leadership students. I'm going to for you leadership course. So under this leadership course, we try to gallop so many important topics and subtopics. In order to proceed to our the body of our lesson, let us see what does leadership looks like. What are the possible benefits of leadership? Where we try to gallop or see the possible benefits of leadership. As you know that leadership most of the time uplifts the person's vision to the higher level. As you know that all of us, including starting from the smallest guy to the one who is in the higher position, all of us have our own unique and peculiarly unique vision. So, in order to uplift, increase, enhance our vision, leadership is a very important tool so as to enhance our sides. The other one is it helps us raising of person's performance from the lower to the higher, from the higher to the most higher parts. Those are also, we can say that the possible benefits of leadership. The other one is, as you know, that we all in the other direction, if we see ourselves, we have our own limitations, right? So, in order to move beyond our limitations, this leadership, the concept of leadership helps us a lot. So leadership has a various and several benefits. So in order to clearly understand what leadership looks like, just literally let me define leadership. The literal definition of leadership can be the individual who are the leaders in the entire organization, business, institution, entities. Those are collectively regarded as a leadership concept. The other one is the activities of leading a group of people. The activities of leading a group of people or an organization, or ensure the ability to do this one is known as leadership. So having this in mind, if we summarize what we have said before, what is clearly leadership means? It is the art of influence. It is the art of influencing. It is the arts of influencing and motivating individuals, a group of people towards one common goal. As you know that there should be a common goal. So in order to achieve that common goal, leadership is very much important. So having this in mind, the one who is known as a leader he has to have the ability to motivate individuals, enhance individuals, try to mobilize individuals towards those that achieve the common goal. That is what we call it leadership. So let me repeat it once again. Where we say leadership is the art of influencing and motivating individuals or a group of people towards a common goal. There has to be a common goal. As you know that most of the time there is overlapping between leadership and management. So many people call these two terminologies or consider these two terminologies, which means leadership and management, as a synonyms. In fact, those two terminologies are more or less, they seem similar, but there is a sharp difference between leadership and management. So, most of the time, what is the focal points of leadership? At the same time, what is the concerning points of management? When we say leadership is mostly tied with the individual, with the people. This concept or this discipline highly focused about the peoples. Whereas the management aspects most of the time highly concerned for things. To have a clear understanding about leadership and management, let me try to show you by giving some examples about management and leadership. Assume that there is a manager in left side of my hand and there is also a leader in the right side of my hand. For example, when management implement tactical actions, for example, managers or the point management implement tactical action. What do you think? What about the leadership? The leadership. For yourself, by creating new vision and plan. It's all about creating new vision and plan. You see the difference? Leaders, most of the time, they create new vision. They try to look forward. They try to bring the unseen thing for his followers. Whereas managers or the discipline which is management most of the time try to implement those visions, those plans. In other words, we can say that implementing tactical action. This is what we call it. It shows us the difference between what is leadership and at the same time what management looks like. For example, managers most of the time worry for detailed budgeting, whereas the leadership concept, establishing organizational financial target, those leaders or the leadership process, most of the time their worrying point, the major concerning areas are establishing the skeletons of the financial activities in one entire organization. Whereas the managers or the management department most of the time worried for detailed budgeting. I think this, what I've mentioned too, is clearly try to show us a slight difference between leadership and management. Let me add one. For example, the leadership decide what needs measuring and reporting. Management, measuring and reporting performances. Look the difference. Let me add one extra one. Making new rules and policies. This is the duties and responsibilities of the leadership or the leaders. Whereas the managers applying those rules and policies. Do you see the difference? Leadership try to make rules and regulation policies. Having this one in mind, management, the concerning points of managers or the management discipline by itself, they try to keep, enforce, implement those rules and regulations at the same time policies. So we can say that this is a slight difference between leadership and management. We can add so many things. For example, let me give you one, the last one. Leadership, problem anticipation, managers, problem solving. Leadership, developing the organization, management, planning. And those can be a little tool that shows us the difference between leadership and management. But when we say that leadership and management has their own difference, it does not mean that there is a yawning gap between leadership and management. Sometimes people in one organization, people call the manager as a leader. At the same time, also the leaders has been named by the name leader. So I think as an introduction part, this one is very much important to identify, differentiate what is the difference, what is the similarity and difference between leadership and management. Also, don't forget that we started our lesson by defining leadership by giving the literal meaning of leadership. So as long as we continue our this leadership course, you have to understand is most of the time or always leadership or the leaders are the influencers, the impact makers. Since we say that it is an art of influencing and motivating individual to the certain identified goals or the common goals, you shouldn't forget about the leadership concepts. So let's proceed to the qualities of a good leader. Qualities of a good leader. Okay, let's proceed to the qualities of a good leader. Qualities of a good leader. At the very beginning, we said that a leader is impartator, he is influencer. He or she is an influencer. They are a motivator. So if we say that they are an influencer and a motivator, how can you influence the other individual? How can you motivate the other individuals? So there is the art of motivation and influencing. We will see this one later on. So when we deal to qualities of a good leader, as you know, that starting from the shopkeeper, let me give you one concrete example. Just try to remind one shopkeeper, maybe Muste or someone in your locality, in your neighbor, starting from the shopkeeper to the prime minister, according to Ethiopian constitution, the highest power may be vested on prime minister. Next to the first one is parliament, as you know that, but since our parliament gave the authority for the prime minister, the highest level, the highest rank is parliament. Prime minister. So let's try to compare and contrast. Starting from the shopkeeper to the prime minister, all can be a leader. Don't forget, we all are leaders. We all are leaders, but there is a level and a degree of leadership between each of us are quite different. So we have to understand, when I say that we all are leaders, at least we are leading ourselves. At least we are leading our parents, our families. So the small institution that we exercise our leadership is our family, right? So having this in mind, starting from the lower level of leadership to the higher level of leadership, what are the common qualities of those leaders? I'm going to tell you the common qualities of a good leader. So the first one is, all best good leaders have a positive attitude. Okay, as I have said before, in our comparison, all good leaders have certain and defined good qualities. The first quality is having a positive attitude. Having a positive attitude. Do you think you are a good leader? If you are, if you're thinking about yourself that you are a good leader, just try to compare yourself what I'm going to give you right now. The first character of good leader is having a positive attitude. The first one is having a positive attitude. By the way, when we say that having a positive attitude, it does not mean denying things around us. There are so many unpleasant things in and around our environment. We understand what is going on beside this one, but we try to develop the positive attitude. So most of the time, such kinds of people have a positive attitude. Great leaders know that they will not have a happy and a motivated team unless they themselves exhibit some positive attitude. So, as you know that happiness, at the same time also sadness transmitted from one person to the other person. So, you have to make sure, if you are a leader, what you are imparting for your followers. Is that a positive attitude? Is that encouragement or discouragement? You have to identify this one. So you need to be make sure among the qualities of a good leader. The first one is having a positive attitude. When we say having a positive attitude, making our followers happy, motivated individuals by exhibiting positive attitude. So this one is very much important. The other one is remaining positive when things go wrong and creating relaxed and unhappy atmosphere in the workplace. This is what I have mentioned before. You know, in our environment, in our circumstance, there are different ups and downs. But you shouldn't bring those all duties to your employers, your followers. There is a fact here, you have to face those facts. It's mandatory, but when you come to your followers, you have to encourage, you have to lift up. So having a positive attitude means, to some extent, this one. The second one, those persons who have a good quality, most of the time they knows how to manage failure. Knows how to manage failure. Knows how to manage failure. What does it mean, people? When we say they knows how to manage failure, failure is not the end of the world, right? In our life path, there is ups and downs, as I've mentioned before. So those leaders knows there is a failure. For example, if you try to see one business entity, the possible occurrence in this business entity, the first one is profit. The second one is loss. Those are what we have to expect when we open one new business environment, one new business entity. So if you enter into bankruptcy, or if your business collapsed, as a good leader, as the best leader, you shouldn't think at the end of the world. You have to search for the ways how to begin again, how to start again. You understand my point? Very good. By the way, this tutorial class is transmitted from Galila International Seminary. My name is Zelalem. Have a blessed time. Okay, so the second one is how they know how to manage failure and setbacks. Also, they know the way out. They know the exit strategy. So this is one characteristics of a good leader. As I have said before, in journey, no matter how hard you try to avoid failure, it will happen. What you have to understand is this one. That's okay. You just need to know how to deal with that. If there is a problem, by the way, you never reject. You never avoid any source of scarcity and a problem. So when scarcity occur, when a problem occur, you have to think how to face those scarcities and the problems. If you know the way of this one, I think you are achieving the second good characteristics of a good leader. That is that means you knew how to manage failures and no setbacks. Thank you very much. Let me proceed to the third one. Good leaders, special leaders, very important leaders, most of the time they took responsibility. Take responsibility. As you know that responsibility is very much important in leadership. If you accept, as a leader, if you accept the blessings of what you are doing, what the employees are doing, or what the followers are doing, it's important. It's important. You are part and parcel of your influence and this reward. Only accepting blessing is not important always. You have to also accept the responsibility. If something wrong happens between your employees, between your followers, you have to accept this one as your responsibility. Because as you know that there is an Amharic statement which says that the soldiers fight the battle, but the history is written by the kings, right? Do you understand this? Okay. ወታደር ታሪክ ይሰራል፣ ታሪክ በንጉስ ይጻፋል. That's what I want to say. If I made it this point, in the activities of one organization, the history, the achievements, most of the time written, or the one who is going to award it is the leader. If this one is true and acceptable, you have to accept also the dark side or the reward sides of what I am saying now. Because if there is a failure, if there is a problem happen, you have to accept. You shouldn't shift a blame to your employees. This is the third important topic, that is taking a responsibility. So in short, what I'm saying is, when we say among the good qualities of a leader, best leader, the third one is taking responsibility. In short, what I'm saying is, they need to take personal responsibility for failure. You, as a leader, you need to shape your expectation towards your employees. If something wrong happen, you have to accept as a common failure. The best leaders don't make excuses. They take the blame and then work how to fix the problem as soon as possible. You understand what I'm saying? If you are a best leader, there is no excuse for any problem. If some problem happen, as a leader, you accept it, but you need to work on that problem. You need to search for a way exit. Do you understand my point? Very good. So, let me mention the fourth qualities of a good leader. That is, those kinds of leaders develop the people around them. Develop the people around them. Develop the people around them. What does it mean? When you engage in one's activity as a leader, you are not alone. There are so many people here and there. There are so many people who give their right hands for you, right? So you have to work with them. If you work with those individuals and people with such kinds of a great and diversified personality, you have to develop those around you. This is one characteristic of a good a leader, a good leader. Most of the time, a good leader doesn't fear what will come in the future regarding his employees. As you know that sometimes people fear, if I try to invest on one of my worker, he become a threat for my position. How honest? If I'm a professional, if I'm a good leader, so many areas are. The others are my working areas. If I left one organization, since I know I'm a professional, I can join everywhere because I'm a competitive person. So those people around me shouldn't be a threat for me. If they are not a threat for me, I have to invest all I have on them. I have to. Do you know a karate masters? I heard one story. If, for example, a judo master knows 45 techniques, most of the time people say that this karate master gives you only the 44 ones because the remaining one was for him. If something, the worst happened, he tried to use the remaining points. Do you understand my point? So when I say that, if you are a good leader, among the characters of a good leader, the one who's developing the people around you, there are so many people around you, you have to invest, you have to empower, you have to increase the potential, the capabilities of those individuals. The sum result, the aggregated result is the benefit for you in organization. So they become your own reward. So most of the time, those good leaders, they have such kinds of quality. The fifth one, they are able to delegating. By the way, delegating is very much important. Good leaders recognize that delegation does more than simply alleviate their own stress levels. What does it mean? some leaders, some bosses delegate individuals when they enter to such kinds of stress, when they are in a full of traumatic situation, or when there is a problem in their family, that when they need to take a rest, they delegate someone. In fact, it's good, but the delegation is not only through such kinds of ways. You know why? Because if there is a workers around you, you have to delegate them in day-to-day activity. They have to develop their confidences. They have to work hard with them. So delegation is very much important. Delegating to others shows that you have a confidence. So when you delegate someone, by the way, it shows that you are trusting your employees, your workers. So this is also, it has its own manifestation. So delegating to others shows that you have a confidence in their ability, which subsequently results in higher morale in the workplace, as well as loyalty from your staff. So delegation is very much important. This is the other important characteristics of a good leader. The other one is know how to communicate. Knows how to communicate. People, you have to understand this one. This one is very important according to my opinion. Knows how to communicate. Communicate. Let me back you to the previous discussion point. At the very beginning, when we discussed about the leadership, we said that we have said that leadership is the art of influencing others. How you can influence and motivate others. Among the very important difference and varieties of instruments, the most important instrument is communication. If you are a leader, you have to develop your communication skill. You have to know how to communicate with individuals. So leadership is all about imparting what you have and influencing, creating impact on the other individuals. So if this one, or if what I'm saying is true, you have to develop as much as possible your communication skill. Communication skill is very much important. So good communication skills are essential for a great leader. You have to understand this one. The best leaders need to be able to communicate clearly with the people around them. Okay, are you with me? Okay, thank you very much. Let's proceed to the second one, exhibit confidence. Exhibit confidence. Confidence is very much important. Since you are, in fact, not only being a best and a good leader, as a leader you have to be a confident fool. In order to present what you have for your followers, in order to mobilize those individuals, at least you have to fulfill the level of good confidence. So confidence is very much important. The other one is using intuition. Also have a sense of humor. Use a sense of humor. Shows commitment. They have a great commitment. By the way, when we talk about commitment, you have to try to see your environments. In country level, for example, you can see your prime minister. At the same time, you can see different ministers. You can see different state ministers. Are they? Can we say that they have a good commitment or not? Have they a commitment? So you have to try to figure out when we see about this one. So, generally speaking, when we summarize, a good leader has such kinds of a quality. Forwarded, having a positive attitude, knows how to manage failure, take responsibility, develop the people around them, delegating, knows how to communicate, exhibit confidence, use a sense of humor, show commitment. Where are you now? Are you a good leader or on the way of learning to be a good leader? Where are you now? So you have to see yourself as I've mentioned before. This is the best qualities of a good leader. When we mentioned this one, I narrate those stories under the qualities of a good leader. So let's proceed to leadership theories. As you know that leadership has so many theories. As much as possible, we try to gallop on a certain parts of leadership theories. Have in touch with me. This is transmitted from Galila International Seminary. I'm Zelalem. Keep in touch. So let's proceed to the next topic, that is leadership theories. Leadership theories. What do you think about the leadership theories? How many theories are there? Okay. Leadership theories. Leadership theories. As you know that there is a wide and ever-growing variety of theories to explain in the concept of leadership practice. So, sorry. There are so many leadership theories. As much as possible, we try to gallop a little bit about leadership theories, and to some extent, maybe we can focus on some parts of leadership theories. Let us see, when we say about leadership theories, most theories view leadership as grounded in one or more of the following things. The first one is leadership as a process or a relationship. There are theories which views leadership as a process or a leadership. The second one is leadership as a combination of traits or personality characteristics. The third one, leadership as a certain behavior or as a certain behavior. So through what I've mentioned before, through those three important points, scholars viewed leadership through this way. Anyways, through this way. So the first one is, let's see, trait theory of leadership. Trait theory. What do you think about trait theory? This theory postulated that people are either born or not born. Born or not born. What does it mean? Such kinds of trait theory theorians say that, or the scholars under trait theory most of the time say that people with the good qualities of leadership, they are born or not born. Born, which means this passes through inheritance. It is a inherited behavior. The other important point is certain inherited qualities such as personality, cognitive ability, or what underline affect the leadership situation of individuals. So, literally, those trait theorians say that people are either born or not born with the qualities that predispose them to success in leadership roles. The second one is skills theory. When we compare and contrast the trait theorians with the skill theorians, they have directly opposite relationship. In skills theory, there is no inherited behavior because of knowledge and acquired skills or abilities. Such kinds of what I've mentioned, especially abilities and skills, they played a pivotal role for the increment of leadership qualities. So this skill theory suggests that knowledge and acquired skills or ability are significant factor in the practice of leadership. Or we can say that skills theory simply accepts that the learned skills, a developed style, and acquired knowledge are the real key to a leadership performance. So when I speak this one, you have to compare and contrast the trait theory with the skill theory. As I have said, they have a direct opposite relationship. The trait theory said or believed in inherited behavior, which the type of theory, this leadership quality passes from father to son, from son to the other. By the way, if you see the stories of the Jewish people, the power vested on the David family, from David to Solomon, and from Solomon to his children. So what you understand is, maybe we can categorize the Jewish historical the power descendants under trait theory. You know why? Because they believed that power vested on the descendants of one family, because they believe this one. Whereas when you come to the skill theory, it's completely different. It's because of the ability, because of the skill. If you train, if you skill, if you learn, you can be a leader. So both have their own truths, but you have to identify, differentiate the concept between the two. The other one is situational theory. Situational theory. What does the situational theory says? This theory suggests that different situations require different style of leadership. To clearly understand this point, situational theory, different situations demanded or requires different styles of leadership. So, to be effective in leadership, it requires the ability to adapt or adjust one style to the circumstance, or what is happening right now. If you try to make yourself compatible with the problem already occurred, or with the event around you, this is what we call it a situational leadership. If something happened, and if you manage your followers, if you show the exit strategy, if you overpass the faced problem, this is one good leadership quality. But this leadership type is situational leadership. The other important point is contingency theory. Contingency theory. There is a slight similarity with the situational theory and contingency theory, but there is also a difference between them. Let me show you something. This contingency theory suggests that leader's effectiveness is contingent, or how well the leader style matches a specific setting situation. At the very beginning, when we discussed about the situational theory, we said that if something happened around your area or your environment, if you manage that thing and try to lead, and if you, or in other words, if you try to overcome such a problem which is occurred around you, it is known as a situational leadership. But in contingency, there is a problem here. If your style of leadership become compatible with this problem, this is what we call it contingency theory. Or in other words, let me show you something. Here, for example, in situational theory and contingency theory, maybe in one institution there may be more than 3 or 4 leaders with different backgrounds. If there is some problem or one complex situation happen, from those leaders, the one who have direct relationship with such kinds of problem, he moved to there and solved that problem. This one is also can be categorized under this one. So what is the difference between contingency and situational theory? to summarize what I have said before in short, in situational theory, the focus is on adapting to the situation. Just try to memorize this terminology, adapting to the situation in situational leadership. Whereas in contingency theory, effective leadership depends on the degree of fit between a leader qualities and style and that of a specific situation. There is a specific situation. If your style of leadership is compatible with this one, you can manage, you can handle, you can protect what is coming to you. So there is a sharp difference between the two. I think the fourth one is pass goal theory. Pass goal theory. This theory is about how leaders motivate followers to accomplish identified objectives. It postulates or suggests that effective leaders have the ability to improve the motivation of followers by clarifying the path and removing obstacles. There is a hardship in the journey of the followers, so you have to pick those difficulties from the path of your followers by doing this one and improving the motivation of your followers. You can show your effective leadership performance. So this concept is put under pass goal theory. These are all about leadership course for this class level. I was Zelalem with you. Thank you very much.